What is your name, please?
My name is Elmer Wheeler.
What is your name, please?
My name is Elmer Wheeler.
What is your name, please?
My name is Elmer Wheeler.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Elmer Wheeler, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth.
Geritol, America's #1 tonic. Geritol, the fast-acting, high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast, presents To Tell the Truth.
And here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and a very warm good evening to you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Now, may I introduce our panel? What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Jackie Cooper.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Hy Gardner.
Jackie, a very easy thing for me to say always is what a pleasure it is to have you with us again.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Bud. It's nice to be here.
Thanks. Glad you enjoy it, too. Now, as you heard, these three gentlemen all claim to be Elmer Wheeler. Only one, of course, is the real Elmer Wheeler. The other two have merely assumed his identity, and they're the ones who do not have to stick to the truth. Now, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it? I, Elmer Wheeler, make a career out of selling salesmanship. I teach, lecture, and write on the art of selling. Some of my books on the subject are How I Mastered My Fear of Public Speaking, How to Sell When Selling is Tough, and The Bashful Boys book. After I dieted and lost 40 pounds, I also wrote the Fat Boys book. Altogether, my books have sold more than 5 million copies, but I consider the highlight of my career the creation of the phrase, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle. I am frequently referred to as Mr. Sizzle, America's #1 salesman. Signed, Elmer Wheeler. Now, panel, you heard these three gentlemen all claim to be Elmer Wheeler, America's #1 salesman. Only the real Elmer Wheeler is required to answer your questions truthfully. As usual, you will each question until you hear this signal. At the end of the questioning period, you will be asked to cast your vote for the one who, in your opinion, is the real Mr. Wheeler. So let's start tonight's round of questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. #1, how do you tell a good salesman from a bad salesman?
Well, if you're driving a gasoline station, a bad salesman will say how many gallons you want. And a good salesman will say, shall I fill it up or spill it over?
#2, losing 40 pounds is one thing. How do you keep 40 pounds off?
I don't.
That's what I was afraid of. #3, do you think that subliminal advertising will do away with the salesman?
Who kind of advertising, Kitty?
That kind, subliminal? Is it subliminal?
That's
the kind
subliminal. Sure,
the kind
subliminal.
where you don't see it, but it's sort of there all the time, hidden. You think it'll do away with the salesman that comes to your door like with a fuller brush?
No.
#1, would you call yourself a hidden persuader?
No, I'm a very open persuader. I go right up to the prospect.
Hi, Gardner.
#1, where is the Advertising Club of New York located?
Well, it's on Park Avenue on the east side, around 36th or 7th.
Do you know #2?
36th, 37th Street on Park Avenue.
#3?
Park Avenue.
#2, there's a famous publisher speaker known as one of the 5 greatest salesmen in America. His nickname is Red. His initials are AHM. Do you know who it is?
No.
Do you know #1?
Yes, it's Red Motley.
#3?
Polly?
#3? #3, do you know whatever it is High asked?
Red Motley.
Oh. #1, do you, have you been selling anything besides selling?
No, lady, I started out selling magazines about more years ago than I care to count. And I've sold lots of things since then. I started selling a pictorial review. I worked for an airline as a salesman a while.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you. I'm convinced.
Jackie?
Number 3,
It says here you wrote a bashful boys book. Now, what were you bashful? Is that why you wrote that?
Yes, I was bashful and shy.
Oh, I see. And then you were fat.
I was fat also.
I see. Number 2, how many calories a day did you cut yourself down to while dieting?
I went down to 1,200 calories.
Number 1, how many calories a day?
2,200, but I maintained it over a very long period.
I see.
Yes, that's it, panel. It's time to vote in this first round, so without any subliminal consultation, will you please mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Remember, of course, that the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. All right. Well, you're all set and ready, are you? Raring to go, Polly? For whom did you vote?
That initial, whatever it is, better sure be real, because you made me change my vote, High Gardner. I vote for number 1, only because High asked him something about her another, and he came out with an answer, I think.
Jackie, what about your vote?
Well, I voted for number 1, too, because he just sold me on himself.
And Kitty?
Well, I didn't vote for number 1. I voted for number 2 because number 1's legs were shaking up there, and it says he mastered the fear of public speaking. And he was shaking, and also I don't believe anybody ever keeps all that weight off. I think they put it right back on again, so I voted for number 2.
Would you say subliminal again, please?
Huh?
Subliminal?
Subliminal.
Thank you very much. All righty. High Gardner.
Well, Polly won't like me.
That's
The
who I
answer Red Motley was right. But I still thought that having lost 40 pounds, that like Jackie Leonard, you'd like to lose another 80. So I picked number 2 for that reason.
Okay, there you have it
That's what
now.
my hunch was. I had it written right
You
there.
had your hunch written down? Holly, play your hunches, kid. All right, let's see now.
Can
All
I
right.
change my vote?
No, you can't. I'm sorry. But here we go to find out which one of these 3
I
gentlemen
know.
is America's number 1 salesman. So may I ask the real Elmer Wheeler to please stand up.
Now, I know it isn't number 1. It is number 1!
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to introduce the real Elmer Wheeler.
That's a switch. Now I gotta go back, let me see, to number 1 and find out who you really are.
My name is Marion Sadler. I'm Vice President of Customer Service for American Airlines.
He should get a job selling something.
Yeah, he sure should. And number 2, you 40-pound loser, who are you and what do you really do?
My name is Henry Blow. I am the Executive Vice President of the association that promotes tufted carpets and rugs, bedspreads, robes, and other textile products.
Well, there you go. Well, it looks like we fooled everybody. There were no correct votes, all incorrect votes
Red
tonight.
Motley's a personal friend of mine.
Oh!
And a very close friend of mine, too.
So we have 4 incorrect votes. That means for $250 each for a total, gentlemen, of $1,000 from Geritol. On your way out, pick up, if you will, your apothecary bottle of Geritol. Thanks so much for giving us a good time, good night, and good luck. And now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Victor Kugler.
What is your name, please?
My name is Victor Kugler.
What is your name, please?
My name is Victor Kugler.
Very well, panel. Will you follow along with your copies of this affidavit as I read it? I, Victor Kugler, was born in Austria, but spent most of my adult life in Holland, where I managed a small spice importing firm for a man named Otto Frank. In 1942, during the Nazi occupation of Holland, I hid Otto Frank, his family, and 4 other refugees in the 4-story house in Amsterdam, which served as the company's office and warehouse. We kept them from detection for more than 2 years, but finally our secret was discovered by the Gestapo. Otto Frank's 13-year-old daughter left a written account of the ordeal. This account was first published as a book. As a play, it won the Pulitzer Prize in 1956 and is now about to be released as a motion picture. Its title, The Diary of Anne Frank. Signed, Victor Kugler. Again, panel, you've heard three persons all claim to be the same person. These gentlemen all claim to be Victor Kugler, the man who hid Anne Frank, and we'll start this round of cross-examination with Hy Gardner. Hy?
Number one, what American magazine ran a complete 3 or 4 or 5 page story about Otto Frank and the Diary of Anne Frank recently?
I don't know.
Would you know number two?
Alive.
Uh-huh. Number three, in the play on Broadway, Joseph Schildkraut played the role of Otto Frank. Now, did you see the play?
Yes, I did.
Is there any resemblance at all between Otto Frank and Mr. Schildkraut?
Not too much.
Number one, what did author Maya Levin have to do with the Diary of Anne Frank?
Yes, I remember Maya Levin wrote the first play, which was not played.
Number two, how long was a fellow, if my memory serves correctly, named von Brunn, Paul, I think it was, von Brunn, the chief of the Gestapo in Amsterdam?
No, that I can't remember. I did not hear that name.
Would you know
Polly?
Number one, what was the name of your spice importing company?
Opekta.
I beg your pardon?
Opekta. Opekta. Opekta.
Oh, thank you. Number two, could you tell me what was Anne Frank's best girlfriend's name in prison? She was with her most of the time in prison.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't understand you.
Anne Frank's best girlfriend, what was her name?
You mean after she was arrested by the Gestapo?
Yes, I don't know whether she was a friend of his before.
No, that I don't know, huh?
I see. Number three, would you know?
No, I don't
Number
know.
one?
No.
Jackie?
Number one, how come you didn't have to hide from the Gestapo?
I was taken the same day when Otto Frank and his wife and the children were taken.
You were taken, but you didn't have
to the headquarters.
But you did not have to hide at the time you were hiding the Frank
I was
family.
not a Jew.
I see. Where did Anne Frank finally die?
In Bergen-Belsen.
Number three, where did you import these spices from?
From Indonesia.
Number two?
General from Indonesia.
Number one, where did you import the spices from?
Mostly from North Africa and Indonesia, and from the Bahamas.
Kitty?
Number three, where did Anne Frank finally die?
In Bergen-Belsen.
Number one?
In Belsen-Bergen.
Number one, what happened after the Gestapo took you to headquarters? Did they keep you and your family?
I was there 3 weeks, and they were taken away the next day, the family, the Frank family.
Number two, in the play, all the Franks lived in one room. Did they all live in one room in your house?
Not at all. There were 2 rooms, sir. One for the parents and one for the girl.
Right, that's all the time we have, panel. It's time to vote once again. Again, without consultation, will you mark your ballots? And in so doing, of course, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. All marked? Polly, you ready? For whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 2. I didn't quite understand his answer to the concentration camp that Miss Frank spent her last few days in. I think it was the same answer as 3 or 1, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, all of his questions seemed quite accurate.
Jackie?
Well, I voted for number 1 because, well, he was just more convincing to me than number 2 and number 3. I believe him.
Kitty, your vote?
I voted for number 2. I think his English is a little bit less good than the other 2, and perhaps that means that he spent most of his life in Amsterdam.
And what about your vote, Hy?
Well, I voted for number 2, but I think that it's number 3 because when Jackie said to number 1, you're not convincing, number 3 smiled. However, my name is Polly Bergen, so I can't change it.
I was just about to say thank you, Polly Gardner. But in any event, there you have it, our votes and our reasons, and we hope if you're voting along with us at home that you are as right or wrong as we are here right now as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real man who hid Anne Frank. So will the real Victor Kugler please stand up? Thank you, sir. Number one, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Otto Rado, and I am a Hungarian interpreter in the U.S. Army in Newark.
And what about you, number three?
My name is John Hainson. I live in Hartford, New York, and I'm an artist.
An artist. Thank you, sir. Well, it looks like the panel did a better job of painting tonight, as we almost didn't fool them, as a matter of fact. There was only one incorrect vote at $250 for a total of $250 from Geritol. And may I ask you gentlemen to stop on your way out and pick up your apothecary bottle of Geritol? Thank you very much for being with us. Good night and good luck. And now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mary Hearn.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mary Hearn.
What is your name, please?
My name is Mary Hearn.
All right, panel, will you follow along with your copies of this next affidavit? I, Mary Hearn, am the personal representative for His Highness the Maharaja of Cooch Behar. 2 years ago, I quit my job with an advertising agency and set out on a trip around the world. While in India, I met the Maharaja, and together we set up the business of organizing tiger hunts. For a sizable fee, I take my American clients into the jungle on a 14-day shikar, which features 30 elephants, 100 servants, hot baths, cold drinks, 6-course dinners, and, of course, Bengal tiger hunting. Signed, Mary Hearn. Three ladies panel, all claiming to be Mary Hearn, personal representative for His Highness the Maharaja of Cooch Behar. Let's begin this round of questioning with Jackie Cooper. Jackie?
Number one, does the Maharaja have a harem?
I haven't seen one.
Number two, do you know?
I know. No, he does not.
Number three, does he have a harem?
Yes, he does.
He does? Oh, dear, this must be
Well, does
very...
he or doesn't he, Jackie?
Must be very interesting tiger hunting. Number two, what advertising agency were you with?
Miller, Cone, Miller, Portland, Oregon.
Number one?
Burton Brown Advertising.
And number three?
Foot, Cone, and Belding.
Uh-huh. Number two, this, Shikar, what is it? Shikar. Shikar? This is
Wait a minute. Happy New Year, Jackie. And may I just say, it's Shikar.
This is a pretty big dinner you have here. 100 servants and a hot bath.
Go eat them all.
Cold drinks.
I'm sorry, I have to call Simon.
All
It was
right.
fun, though it was. Kitty?
Number one, can you spell and pronounce Nero's first name?
No, I can't.
Number two, what is the Maharaja's first name?
Well, he's known, the name used is Baya, which means brother.
Uh-huh.
Actually,
Number three, it
very
says here that you charge a sizable fee for your tiger hunts. How much would it cost me?
That depends. Are you a shooter or a non-shooter?
I'm a non-shooter.
Well, for you, it would be $4,400. For a shooter, it's $5,600.
Hi, Gardner.
How do you go tiger hunting without a gun?
No, that's...
Just go along
You just go along for the ride.
Oh.
You go along to dig those crazy cats. That's what you do. All right,
Sounds like the rates were established at a crap table in Las Vegas for shooters and non-shooters. Number three, at one time, the Maharaja employed a Broadway press agent when he used to do the rounds of nightclubs here in town. What was the press agent's name? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with it.
Number one, in a fight between a tiger and an elephant, who do you think would win?
The elephant.
Number two, who do you think would win?
The tiger.
Number three?
The elephant.
Number three, there's a very famous painting of a very famous author in which he has one foot on a tiger he just killed. Who was that author? Do you know number two?
No.
Number one?
No, I don't.
Polly?
Number three, how do you get 100 servants in one tent?
Couldn't. We have lots of tents, a great number of tents.
Oh, is that the way they travel, though, in canvas? With, I mean, where they stay?
Yes, we all stay in tents.
I see.
Have tent will travel.
Yeah. What's unusual about the cows in India, number 2? The cows in India.
Well, there are wild bison. I don't think...
Number 1, could you tell me anything unusual about the cows in India?
They're sacred.
Number 3, what kind of cows are they?
I don't know.
Do you know number 1?
No.
Guess that's it. Thanks for stopping yourself, Polly. It is time to vote, so will you please mark your ballots, as before, without consultation, and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. All set, panel? Jackie's the grim one looking tonight. How about you, Polly? For whom did you vote?
Well, I don't know whether he has a harem or not, which I guess makes a lot of difference, but I figured if number 3 had enough guts to say he didn't when everybody else said he did when everybody else said he didn't, I had to vote for her. For courage alone, if nothing else.
Jackie, your selection.
Well, I voted for number 1 because I'm quite sure that he doesn't have a harem. And also, I've been very unlucky with number 1. I may as well go all the way. But she was very, very convincing, and she did know that the cows were sacred in India, too.
I didn't ask number 3.
Kitty?
Anybody didn't ask?
Sacred cows did it for me, too. I voted for number 1.
And Highgarden.
Well, I voted for number 3. I like her answers. And I think this, if I can editorialize for 1 minute, I think it doesn't take much courage to leave an advertising agency to go into the business you're in, but I think it takes a lot of courage to go from tiger hunting into an advertising agency.
Reverse psychology. All right, there we have our votes and our reasons for voting. How are you doing at home, okay? All right, let's see how you do this time as we find out which one of these 3 ladies is the real personal representative of the Maharaja of Cooch Behar. And so, at this time, we will ask the real Mary Hearn to please stand up.
Well,
And the crew, thanks to you.
Thank you very much, Miss Hearn. And number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
Yes, my name is Betty Bender. I'm from Manhattan. I'm in the personnel field, and right now I'm between jobs.
And number 3, what about you?
My name is Maggie Aldrich, and I'm an instructress at the New York studio of the Nancy Taylor School of Modeling and Charm.
I'd like to ask a question just quickly. How many tigers normally are shot on one of these expeditions?
3.
About 3?
2. We bagged 3 in our 2-week camp out there. Plenty of tigers around.
Plenty of tigers?
Yes.
Good season on tigers.
Yes.
Well, I want to tell you that it's been a great pleasure having you with us tonight, and in checking up on our score, we find, as you figured out, 2 and 2. So there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Geritol. Happy hunting, ladies. Stop on your way out, if you will, and pick up your apothecary bottle of Geritol. Good night, and good luck to you all. Earlier, so good night, panel.
Good night.
And now this is Bud Collier saying good night on behalf of Geritol and reminding all of you to tell the truth. Night.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Miss Bergen's Gown by Wilma.